Hi, everybody. This is Matt from Shadow Moses 112. Right now, I'm doing the stream solo. Pete should be joining us in a moment, but until then, it's going to be just me. And we're going to hear all this other tab stuff going on because I know what I'm doing. But no, really, sorry about that. So right now, uh, I'm still working on some things that I've brought up in the past. This past week, I had a lot of stuff going on. So I haven't gotten to fine tune some of the different projects I've been working on. And then there are some projects that I just put on the back burner because how intense and time consuming and tedious they are. Like, I know I've mentioned the van before. I'll do that when Pete's not here. Don't mind me, guys. Whew. Um, the vehicles that I'm working on are really time consuming and there's a lot of different tedious parts, and then figuring out how to make them work properly is something that's actually taking up a good amount of time. So yeah, that, and then the barrels that I've been working on, I'm waiting for resin that I ordered to get in, but there were some shipment delays. And then as soon as Pete's on, if he's up for it, I have some separate shipping related things to discuss about some packages that came in this week that are still in their shipping boxes. Um, I know that I've mentioned in the past that I would like to do some product reviews. Do I have a knife over here? I don't. And I went to do those this week. That didn't happen because technology sucks. My phone is on its last legs, and yeah, so it was charging for a good while, and now it's at 50% out of nowhere. It was at 90% 10 minutes ago. So yeah, can't really make a video with that. Tried with a different phone, but apparently that has certain settings on there, so I can't offload files the way that I would. And then the webcam that I used before for it, not this webcam, that one is also not ideal for those videos. I don't know if any of you guys have watched other reviews online. I'm assuming that you have, but they you need a camera that actually has good resolution on it, and I just don't have anything that's really working for me right now. Ordered a new phone. It'll be here Tuesday, and then hopefully I will get these reviews posted because I also received The Rest of Us, and I have thoughts about that, but again, it was just another one of those instances where do a whole review and then I can't do anything with it. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. Um, I know that Pete definitely expressed some a little bit of disappointment that this week they announced a alternate version of Timothy Sodcutter. So, after he found one, I think on the aftermarket, he found the original version, and then of course they released this one. And then people are pointing out that some of the accessories that come with it are those seen with Gaslight Joker, which I do have somewhere nearby, but I don't have a side cutter, so it doesn't matter. I sold mine. It's just the character didn't really do anything for me. And as Pete said before, he really enjoys the horror characters. I'm much more into like video game based characters or ones that are based on movies, like movie characters and such. So that's kind of where my interest lies with them. Um, and then what else? So yeah, The Rest of Us arrived this week, and I'm gonna start referring it to The Rest of Us in all honesty because it just doesn't live up to my expectations as The Last of Us. But I guess that's, well, no, even the LIMTOYS Leon is a knockoff. So it's, I don't know. They like I said, I have thoughts on it, and part of me wonders if it's because it's a product that they were working on for 4 years now, and then finally it got released. And is this the product that they've been working on for 4 years? or however many years now. I don't know. I'm also curious why there was such a delay in it. I wish I'd thought of that before because I could have looked into that and maybe found nothing. But I kind of want to know why it took so long to make those figures when LimToys has released other things on a much shorter delivery timeline and uh, with better quality. Honestly, I'm always going to go back to the LimToys RPD officer. That figure is great. It looks just like Leon. I love the level of detail that his uniform has, the level of detail in his accessories. I mean, the typewriter that it comes with has actual text on the piece of paper. like, uh, it bummed me out a little bit that The Last of Us or the rest of us wasn't quite up to that par. And I haven't looked at it for a while, but I even have the LimToys Ahab figure, the unofficial Solid Snake. And from what I remember looking at that is it looks really good. So I don't know. It's weird. It's I wanted to joke that it's like they pulled the quality of the system on which the game was, but I think Ahab. Well, no, if Ahab was based off the Phantom Pain, that's PS4, Xbox One, and the rest of us is PS3. So that's not how that works anyway. Oh, unless they're, I'm not going to go down that road. There might be if they're doing what I think they might have done, then it makes sense. I don't think they're doing that, but I'm also not going to go down that road because it's a little sketchy. I'm going to do a quick test real quick, but I'm also not going to go down that road because it's a little sketchy. Okay, sorry about that. I wanted to check for feedback. I've been having audio issues, and I just wanted to see if it's happening when it's just me, or if it happens when it's just me and Pete, or what the case is with that. You know what? Screw it. Pete's not here. I'm gonna crack this open because I want to go over it with him anyway. Come on. So I keep mentioning Pete. For those of you who don't know, Pete is he's the owner of Shadow Moses 112. It was kind of an idea that we came up with a while ago with 3D printing and everything like that. And he's the one who really took the steps to get it off the ground. And he's been doing most of the legwork on the whole thing. I've been having a lot of issues getting 3D printers to work, and then just some personal stuff I've been going through, hair related, not really, but yeah, Pete's been doing a lot of the stuff. He got the website up and running with somebody that he networked with. Most of the designs are his. I've designed stuff for him, and then I've done, when we were doing more custom work, there are things that he reached out to me for, because the software I use is a little more, it's a little stronger than what, at least I think it's a lot stronger. I'll be honest. I think it's a lot stronger than what he uses. But it also really depends on the practicality and the application of what you're creating. So if you look at what a lot of the stuff is, like the arcades and everything like that, it's made with mostly geometric shapes, that's combined and modified and getting them to interlock. And what the system that he uses for that, the software, is actually, I mean, clearly it works because you have the products. But for more intricate organic things, I think the software that I use, which is Blender, is a bit stronger, just because it's much more of a powerful tool. It really stands up to industry standards like Maya, because it basically is Maya, and it's entirely free, which I love. I do want to start learning more software like ZBrush and maybe Rhinoceros, which is another third well, it's another software that's used, but I don't know if it is set as, if it has the presence that ZBrush has in industry, like video gaming industry or like other design type of fields. So it's up in the air, and Pete is busy. I mean, that's why he's not here now. We all have personal lives, so that's another factor that comes into him not really using Blender that much, because it's just that much more tedious. Like, you could do a van in SketchUp, but I think it's gonna look a lot cooler in Blender. It's just the rendering potential is much stronger there. So yeah, that's what I use. That's why I use it. Sticking to it. Might learn some more cool, sophisticated software, but right now, it's not where I'm at. It's also, ZBrush is really expensive, so whatever. I'm just rambling because Pete's not here. And actually, I know I mentioned them before. The LIMTOYS Noble 6 figure came out for pre-order. There's a standard version of Ami, or however you want to pronounce that. They have the standard there at roughly $122 US. And then Big Bad Toy Store and Sideshow Collectibles both have the exclusive version right around 200. I think that it's 190 on Sideshow, but you're going to pay more for shipping there. And then Big Bad Toy Store has it up. What's the price on it? Where are you, buddy? Can't find it. It used to be up right up here. Almost 6. Come on. 1,000 toys. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, it's still just the exclusive version, which is, I guess, fine. It's something, but and that one's $194.99 and $195. But that's honestly between Sideshow and Big Bad Toy Store. If you're cool with paying all of it at once, I would just go with Big Bad Toy Store. Why not? It's $4 shipping. That flat rate shipping is a huge reason, and we've gone over that before. It's a huge reason that I love Big Bad Toy Store. Never mind how much of a product selection they have, but that flat rate shipping and pile of loot box is so nice. And when I bought my Doom Eternal Prime 1 statue, it was like $2,500, and I got $4 shipping on it. Granted, the price was inflated a bit. I think not as much as some of the other ones are. But yeah, I really didn't pay the $200 shipping that it really cost, because that guy actually was right around that price. If I go find it on Prime One's website, it was about that price. And I'm really curious now. And I know that me and Pete talked about it before, but when you have the ultimate, okay, no, I paid for, okay, I lied. I paid for it in shipping. So it's $2,400, and I paid, it's not even here anymore. What? The Devastator statue looks awesome. Okay, so yeah, even with that, the cost was baked into the actual product itself. Although that still isn't bad. That's $200. The Last of Us statue from Prime One's website to Big Bad Toy Store, it's $1,000 more on Big Bad Toy Store, which is just insane. And while Pete's not here, I'm going to let you guys know, because he doesn't know yet. And if he goes back and watches this, that's how he'll figure out. But I pre-ordered that Last of Us statue with Joel and Ellie. You're damn right I did. I'm all about that. It looks amazing. The Joel and Ellie look so good on it, and the clicker looks fantastic. And I'm getting the deluxe one, so we have the different head sculpt. So we have the head sculpt of the clicker that's getting shot with the blood coming out and everything. The different swap out parts. Yeah, Pete, I'm going on about it. I don't care. I'm glad I pre-ordered it. I'm excited. But anyway, um, unfortunately, you're not going to get that level of posing with these LIMTOYS figures. Uh, I wasn't able to post my review for it, so I'm going to go into a little bit here. I'm not gonna make it like a huge drawn out review, but no, we're gonna start with Joel. And I got the deluxe. I got the 2-pack, so it came with these extra accessories. The boxes are kind of cool because they. It looks like the captures from the game itself, like the PS3 version of the game. But if you look at them a little more closely, it looks like they're like drawn. It almost looks like they're done with colored pencil or something like that. So I should have a white backdrop. Nothing. But so Joel looks decent. It's the typical green shirt that he has and everything, and like most of the stills you'll see from the game. But his face is not that Joelish. At some angles you'll see it, but it's kind of like some Hot Toys, and I said this in the review that I recorded. Certain Hot Toys, I know there was there's a Black Widow figure that doesn't look like Scarlett Johansson except for at the right angle, and this Joel figure seems to suffer from that, which is kind of a bummer. It's not a bad head sculpt. And actually, I think Pete has it pre-ordered, but there is The Guardian by another third-party studio, and that one's modeled after Pedro Pascal. So I might have to look into that. I don't want a Bella Ramsey version of Ellie because I don't think Bella Ramsey's a very good Ellie. Just I don't know. I don't care for Bella Ramsey as an actress. Sorry. I thought the show was really good, and I thought she did an okay job, but there's some times where it just didn't feel like Ellie. It felt like an interpretation of her that I didn't care for. But going back to Joel, he has decent arm articulation. Shoulder articulation, at least laterally. He can T-pose. It's hard to get his arm forward. The shirt is kind of restrictive in a few ways, and his back looks insane. I've never really looked at him from this angle, but his back looks nuts. So his shirt does come off, but it doesn't like to set properly. And if you have the figure in hand, you'll notice that it's like the upper torso. Well, screw it. I'm just going to open it. So the upper torso is a different kind of material. It's much more, it's hollow, first of all, but it's also more of a rubber than like this lower torso. But even that still has some kind of give to it. It's not like a hard plastic. Like his face, that's a hard plastic. But if you tap on it, you can hear a difference. I don't know exactly how much of a butterfly joint his shoulder has because aside from moving out like that, it's really hard to get him to move forward. Anyone that's tried to do like really dynamic posing with him, you're gonna really have to play around with the shirt to get his arm. Like I had to do a good amount of reconfiguring and loosening of fabric in different areas to get his arm up that much. We do have a pretty good elbow joint, but again, the shirt gets in the way. So, I mean, I don't know how much more you need than that, especially because it looks funky. But you could get it probably to do like a full uh a double jointed movement because it is double jointed, but the shirt just kind of gets in the way, which is a usual problem with soft goods. One accessory I have on him right now is the wristwatch, which it's hard to tell because this camera is not really great, but it actually does have like a little crack kind of on there to show where it was damaged when it fell, when he and Sarah were attacked by the Fedra. I don't know if they were Fedra at the time, but that guy. Um, he has like no ab crunch. Well, more than I thought actually. Now that I've adjusted, cool. So the figure comes apart. Like I said, not much ab crunch. It pops back in easily enough though, thankfully. Uh, but yeah, and then the pants ride up a lot, so that kind of gets in the way. But if you look at the instructions, they actually tell you to pull the pants up before you start moving the legs, which realistically makes sense. You're not gonna, if you're wearing jeans, they're gonna limit how flexible you are because his legs actually do have like a good amount of motion. Um, it can go up higher than that, but I didn't hike up the pants. I was in the middle of checking out the ab crunch. So it's, the shirt's undone right now, so keep that in mind. But with the shirt open and not hindering his movement, he actually does have a decent, it's a respectable ab crunch, I would say. That's utilizing both of the joints, the mid torso and then the waist before it pops out. But once the shirt's fastened, it's going to be okay. It's going to be the same thing. It's not that restrictive. I just, apparently, I didn't loosen up the figure enough because it is moving around more now than it was yesterday. Um, but we get a decent kick. It's not great, but I mean, you're also not doing that. You're not goose stepping around. And then when you have the pants hiked up, you actually do get a good amount of knee movement. It's not as much as it could be, but it's kind of as much as you need it to be. Again, it's not he's not doing those he's not kicking his own ass. Head movement's pretty limited considering that's only a joint in the bottom of the head, but it's definitely like a double jointed peg because it can move, it can rotate 360, but it can kick back and forth a decent amount. You want to be mindful of the gaps that show up in the front and the back when you do it. The back one's not that bad, but the front one is is very noticeable when he's looking up too much. Ankle articulation on this guy's awesome. I wish he had a double jointed. I wish he had like a pivot or the yeah, like a foot pivot articulation. But honestly, the ankle is so good on this guy. It's again, I think it's just a peg with two ball joints on each side because you get a good amount of swivel. You get good so you get good back and forth action. You get good side to side on it. When I was kind of messing around with the figure a little bit, it's a real lifesaver to help get him posed in some more exaggerated and dynamic ways because I've had so many issues with figures that had just crap ankles, and I'm actually it's one of the things I like about this figure more. And honestly, I think this might be a figure that I enjoy more and more as like I play with it or pose it or whatever. Last night, I will confess that I was a little less than enthused about it, and I even told Pete I was like, there's stuff to go over with it because it's not perfect, but it's not bad. It's easy to be harsh on it because again, it's a 3-year thing that we're waiting for. The head sculpt isn't perfect, and I would like potentially a little more clean details on the things he comes with, but it's still a decent figure. Like looking at it now, I'm feeling better about it than I was last night. So that hopefully that means something. Uh yeah, my phone's still at 50%. I don't know what the hell it's doing. And then he comes with some two handgun. Well, the revolver. He comes with his loadout from the game, minus the. You get a flamethrower in the first one. I don't remember. I know at the end you get that assault rifle. He doesn't come with one of those, which would be kind of cool, but at the same time, it's end game weapon. Spoiler, Pete. Don't watch this. But yeah, he comes with the. He doesn't have a hunting rifle actually, so he doesn't have. Yeah, no, there are weapons that they leave out. So he doesn't get El Diablo. He doesn't get Shorty, the stub shotgun, and he doesn't get the long rifle. I don't remember if you get a bow as draw, but we get a shotgun. That doesn't look bad. We get some wood grain detail in the handle. The pump doesn't move, which would be nice, but I get it. It's not Mezco. I don't know if that helps at all. It's gonna blind you if I leave it in the camera. But yeah, it looks good. There's a little bit of texturing on it. We get some texturing on the butt of the gun, which is nice. There's actually that's a nice detail is this little plug here. I forget what this metal is. There is on the butt of shotguns there is this little thing there, and it might be intended for like uh like a belt, a strap. I'm not sure. I can't remember what it's for. We have like little, very small sights on it down the barrel, and then the trigger is actually a separate thing. But we also have a little bit of stringing from the mold. So there's a slight imperfection there. Where the tweezers at? The guns are really small, so I'm just gonna use my tweezers to pull them out. We have the handgun, which again, it's just a handgun in the game. It's not a specific kind or anything like that. And the detailing looks all right. It's nothing fine. This one actually has some text on it. It's hard to read. TAE space DOKEN service number 5, series number 5. So we do get a little bit of some kind of serialization of the gun, a little bit of information about it. There, I noticed it's going to be really hard to see on this camera because it's not that great. But I noticed that there are some areas on the paint application where, like, silver is on an area that should just be brown. Um, yeah, there are a little bit of imperfections on the paint application, and compared to the LIMTOYS Leon, which is kind of my standard, it's it's not quite on par with that. My tweezers are gone. Found them. And then we have the revolver, which is like one of my go-to weapons in the game. And it's just a revolver. It doesn't look bad, but it also I don't know. This one has a little more detail on it. Like it has some there's that part behind the actual chamber. I don't know guns or what there are. Like we have some details around the back of the barrel, and there's texture on the handle, and we have these two little shiny metal pieces on it, and it looks good. But if you're gonna compare it to like Mezco, I especially compare it to Mezco, it's just a little, but it's also LIMTOYS, and I don't know, it doesn't look bad, and I'm probably being too harsh on it, but I don't know. We have a shiv crafted, which is pretty basic. There's some decent detailing on the handle of the shiv. We have a brick, which doesn't look bad, but it's kind of annoying. Well, it's a little weird that we have the seam on the side of the brick. I don't know. That's kind of nitpicky. because otherwise they did a good job of making it look dirty. Like there's some clear weathering that's done on it with black paint. I can't rotate it. Oh my god! Like it doesn't look bad. It's a brick. The hands actually look pretty decent. They're just hands. I'm just gonna do it. My tweezers for everything. We have two melee weapons. One of them is an axe, which is simple, but I like that they have this silver paint application at the end of that. And then we have a pipe melee weapon, which has some brown weathering and rust paint applications on it, which is a nice touch because it's not a new pipe. Interestingly enough, and it comes with this separate little card that has it kind of has like a replica of the Fedra posters for the stages of the cordyceps infection for people. And then on the other side, we have the instructions. But in here, we also have these two white strips. And the intent of those is to use it as like a med kit. Sorry, it's all mirrored. So we have the intent to use it as like a med kit or to customize your melee weapon by strapping. Well, there's one in there. Strapping these little pieces of metal to it. And it's pretty cool. I'm a little iffy on it because I think they're actually tape. And I don't like the idea of permanently modifying like a collectible. We also get two more of these metal parts, like metal scraps. So you could set them up on like a counter or something like that if you're doing a diorama or a scene. And then we also have a pipe bomb, which looks cool. I'm a little annoyed or a little bummed, I guess, that it's really just four directions that the things stick out. It's like realistically, you're not just going like that with everything. You're just sticking it every way. It's like a nail bat doesn't have nails sticking out on north, south, east, and west of the bat. They're everywhere because it's supposed to be dangerous from every angle. And it's a nitpick, I'll admit it, but it would be nice if it just looked a little more randomly arranged on that pipe bomb. And then lastly, he comes with the backpack, which is pretty cool. It might open, but I'm afraid to damage anything and like open it. I think that these side straps are intended to be loosened so you could like slide either the pipe down there, like it's basically a holster for either a long gun or the pipe. And realistically, there isn't another spot to hold a second long gun because that's like an upgrade you can make to the backpack in the game. So you're just doing one long gun with Joel. He does come with a little flashlight, which is cool because that's a useful tool in the game. And overall, like the backpack looks good. I like how they have these little patches on it to show that it's been repaired and like there's a good amount of wear and tear on it. The front pocket, excuse me, could probably use a little more weathering because it's kind of bright against what else looks very worn. But ultimately, it still looks good as another piece of soft good with the figure. So I think that's everything for Joel. Doing this backwards. There it is. Yeah, this is turning into a live review. Sorry. Just waiting for Pete. But also, I'm delaying because I need to do reviews for Robin and Slugfest. And I would have liked to go over those a little more, but Pete hasn't opened his either. He's got stuff going on. We all have stuff going on. And I'm going to put this away. Oh my God, come on. Thanks, bud. I hate you. So yeah, Joel, in retrospect, I'm a little happier today with it than I was yesterday. And let me do one thing really fast. Um, Now moving on to Ellie. This is the weaker of the two figures. I will say that. Joel's not bad, but Ellie really, I think, is the problem of the set. Uh, Posing, I had some issues with her, but also that's the head sculpt. It doesn't look like Ellie, especially here. But like even in person, when I was doing some sample posing with the two of them, I realized it looks more like Lara Croft from the Tomb Raider reboot, which is an excellent game. If you haven't played it, you really should. But I realized that it looks more like her than Ellie, and that's kind of a bummer. First, I was really kind of willing to give him some leeway because it's based off the PS3 render, but doesn't most angles it doesn't look like the PS3 render even. So Ellie has similar. I mean, ideally it's the same articulation, but her shoulders, her arms do not like to go up very high at all. Like I can't really. I don't want to force them because it feels like they don't. Oh God, that's scary. Um, it went up, but now, uh okay. Oh, it's like, I didn't understand how her shoulders worked. I picture like a Marvel Legends ball joint or shoulder joint. If Pete comes, I'll have to step away and grab one. But I think I know more of how these shoulders work now. So there was a third party blank body used. Yeah, one of my other criticisms from my first video was that it looked like her traps were enormous, and they still look kind of big here. But there's the ball joint used inside of her shoulder, at least the torso section of it, is much different than what I thought it was. So Marvel Legends, it's just we have that inside joint that sockets back and forth. Some of them move other directions, and then the ball joint goes into that, and that gives us that wide butterfly. That gives us that butterfly joint, so that your shoulders can go in like a rowing motion. But these ones, it seems like there is a ball joint inside of that that's connected to a joint inside the shoulder. So you have two ball joints hinged together, and the one on the inside is pretty tight because I didn't realize it was there until I just moved it. Um, so actually, her shoulders move more than I expected. Her arms really good at. I'm not doing that. Her arms real. Jesus. Oh my God, she's very a flimsy figure, but her arm can get up pretty good forward, like actually really good. She has really good forward motion. I'm trying to avoid doing the salute, guys. It's just sorry. I'm demonstrating movement. And she has she has double jointed elbows, which are really good, but her joints are loose. And I don't know if that's the standard or if that's just my experience, but her joints are very loose. And unless they're really tight. So uh yeah, like the other thing that I noticed, which I thought was weird about the figure, is her the general shape of her body is very it gets wider as it goes down. Uh so like that kind of makes sense, but also um it looks a little weird. Like she is not like shapely or anything in the game, and it's all because of these stupid pants and how much like if you have the figure you'll know it feels like there's an entire like a band-aid is wrapped around her torso or something like that. like around her midsection. It feels just like there's an additional piece of fabric in there that just kind of gets in the way. And I don't know what it is or why it's there, or if it's just kind of like Joel where the jeans just ride up that much. Like she's wearing jeans that go up to her belly button or something. But it's just it really hinders the ability to pose the figure. It was a lot harder to get her into dynamic poses than Joel. Like she has a decent split. Her ankle joints are super weak. But getting her leg forward is going to be another matter of playing around with the fabric of the jeans and getting that out of the way. Her knee joint is excellent, and she has the same awesome ankle articulation that Joel has, but they're really weak joints. They're it's not just gonna flop, but they're not very strong. They're kind of flimsy, and it's kind of annoying when you're posing her. She didn't fall over for me, but like every little bit you move her figure, like her foot will just start turning because it's reacting to the way that you have it posed or you have it just offset at a weird angle. And it's not very helpful for keeping her upright and looking normal. So I don't know. Oh, one other thing I discovered late about Ellie, which is actually really helpful when you're putting on her backpack. So she has her ponytail, but it's actually on a swivel. It's not fixed in a position. And that's really helpful when you have her backpack on because I thought I was going to snap it off. It probably comes off, but I'm not going to do that. Um, and then the backpack actually works pretty well with Ellie. With Joel, it really, you almost want to rip it open just so you can put weight in it because the sleeves constantly want to slide down his arm. And it constantly just it's really weird and it's counterintuitive, but his backpack really just kind of wants to lift and shift up towards his head, I've noticed. And the sleeves don't like staying in place. It's something that people are going to have to play around with as they pose it or set it up in different scenes. Um, so Ellie comes with her loadout from the game. So she has the sniper, like this hunter sniper rifle. I don't really want to call it a sniper rifle, but I guess it is that. And it looks really good. Her weapons look better than Joel's, honestly. You can't see it on this camera, but well, maybe you can, but like, well, no, it just looks modeled. But there's more detail on the overall weapon than Joel. Like Joel's guns have a lot of negative space, and perhaps it makes sense for some of them, but like this one having the wood frame, it has a texture to it. It's not like Joel's gun has it, you can see the grain of the wood and everything like that, but it's a finished wood type, and this one is more rough, rugged kind of wood feel, and it actually feels that way with my fingers. So it's cool because it's discernibly a different type of gun, potentially different brand. It has its own unique feel to it, which is really cool to see. It's a good detail. There's weathering along the barrel, and Joel's weapon is actually very clean. And the it's going to be really hard to see, but the lens is oh, you can see it. So both sides of the gun have that little bit of plastic in there to capture the look and appearance of a lens. The bow looks pretty good. It has some nice paint applications on it to show a bit of wear and tear. Probably not as much as it could have, but I don't know. I feel like you also would want to maintain this more than like metal because it's wood and it's more susceptible to elements in some ways at least. It's just like a little elastic string which is actually tied around the ends, and it has some. You could probably actually shoot an arrow and then lose it and never find it, which is why I didn't do it. um, but it has a little bit of bounce to it. Her backpack looks pretty good. It's a pretty accurate version of what we have in the game. We have the little keychain in there. I was seeing if the space shuttle one was on here, which wouldn't be accurate actually. But we actually have two little. We have the pins that are in the game. We have two little zippers painted on there. We have the. It would be cool if this keychain moved around, but I get why it doesn't. And I think this one actually opens up. We have a similar system with straps on the side. Sorry, the zipper is in there. I think it actually does open. And we have a similar system with straps for holding melee weapons and the long gun. And I didn't do it last night because small zippers are usually a pain. But let's crack this open. And then there's foam inside of it, which you obviously take out. But yeah, it's a whole backpack, which is actually really cool. One of the things I love about all these small scale, like 6-inch, even 12-inch figures, honestly, I love the accessories. I love having a bunch of little knickknacks that they come with that you could put in a backpack, you could put in a scene to make it just really come to life. All these little things that you interact with in a video game, having those in physical form with the character is just such an awesome thing. Which actually takes me to my next point. Neither Joel nor Ellie come with a bottle. Ellie also comes with a brick. And it would have been nice if one of them came with the other alternative, as like you either throw a brick or a bottle in the game to distract enemies, and they both come with bricks. So that's a bit of a bummer. This one doesn't have as much paint application to make it look dirty or worn down as Joel's did, but it's a brick. I was harsher on Joel's brick, but whatever. And then her gun. I think her gun actually looks a lot better than Joel's. We'll only see so much of the detail on his camera, but like it, I feel like it looks immediately more detailed than Joel's. And the paint applications are honestly cleaner on this one than his. But again, compared to the Resident Evil one, the Leon, the magazines on his guns came out. Like the Matilda, if it's a Desert Eagle, and then whatever the other gun he has, the magazines actually come out of those, and they have like the magazine with the bullet painted on top, and we don't have that here. I'm not sure if it's because weapons aren't quite stressed the same amount in this as they are in Resident Evil, but it's that level of detail is not here. And we have Ellie's little switchblade, which is kind of a fat switchblade in all honesty, because it's probably really hard to make it as thin as it would be to go into that handle. So it looks decent. It's just a switchblade. It looks kind of generic, but I don't know that there's any specific detail that should be on it from the game. I think there might have been an engraving on it, but at this size, it's going to be really hard to capture that. And then we have arrows. Comes with 4 arrows. This one's a little bent, so that's not cool, but it seems to want to bend back, which is cool, I guess. There's nowhere to actually hold it. Like, I don't know how you're going to do a pose with this. I don't think. Yeah, you're not going to. I mean, this one's bent and might be even considered damaged. But you can't really knock it to the bow. One thing I thought was pretty cool is that these actually do have the little holes in the head. Some of them aren't as clean as they should be or could be, but it's still kind of cool that it's not just a solid piece of metal. It has some detail to it, which I enjoyed. And then, yeah, that's Ellie. Let's do this correctly. Since I'm never going to be able to post a video review for him, unfortunately, we're doing a live review. And we basically just finished it, because the last thing is the accessory pack. I hope Pete joins. I don't know if he'll be able to or not, but I can't get it in. It's really dumb. I'm just gonna do it backwards. I don't really like doing it that way, but whatever. God damn. Son. So the last thing, and if you get the 2-pack, you get this. But you get this little box with some extra accessories, which is kind of cool. It's kind of cute. So we have a machete. It's just a machete. Nothing special, nothing crazy. But it has some weathering, some paint applications to show wear and tear, and it's kind of cool. It's nice to have that. It would be kind of cool if they did like an additional one, or if they, I don't know. I really wish more studios would make third, like tertiary characters. Like we have good guys, bad guys, but then like the in betweens, like if you don't know what I'm saying, we'll have. Well, I mean, Hasbro kind of does it. So like you'll have an Ultron figure, and then you'll have Iron Man, but most studios don't make that Ultron Sentry figure. Or like we have Hydra and stuff, like army builders, essentially, I guess is what I'm getting at. But like there's not much of a range in them. I don't know. And then we have a baseball bat, which has like a I don't know if it's necessarily a reinforced handle or if it's just intended as something so that the person can get a better grip. We get a Molotov cocktail, which is pretty cool because it actually has the label of, I don't know it's hard to read because it's all weathered and everything, weathered and illegible kind of. It looks like it says Wild Waker, but it's hard to tell. But it has the little cotton coming off, so that's a cool accessory because Molotovs are super helpful in the game. And then get in there. Lastly, we have a gas mask. We only get one gas mask, which I thought was a little odd because Joel always impressed upon Ellie the point of wearing one so people wouldn't know she's infected. It actually has a decent level of detail to it. The lenses look really good. The filter looks pretty cool. I like that it's a different color actually than the main. The main. It's might be hard to see. Ooh, that doesn't help. It's a really dark blue, and the rest of it is kind of a really dark mauve, which is a made up color. I think it's mauve. Our brain can't process that part of the spectrum, so we perceive it as mauve. But it's a cool detail, and there's wear and tear on the filter and that. So yeah, actually looking back at this set, I'm feeling better about it than I was yesterday. So I'm actually glad I sat down to do this. On the back of the box, we have another kind of Easter egg from the game, some Fedra posters, and then we actually see like the different levels of infected, or the different stages, excuse me. It's not the same poster from the game, but it's enough of a throwback to it so that we know what it is. So I thought that was really cool. I'm really tempted to there's been so much about Robin on groups. People seem to be really disappointed by it, and I'm kind of tempted to just pop him open right now and do a bit of a. It's cute. What's cute? The poster on the back or Robin? I don't know when you left that comment. Sorry. Yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of curious how I'll feel about Robin because I've seen so many different pictures of him posted. The dad mask. The gas mask? Gas mask. Okay. Yeah, the gas mask was cool. I like that it has there's some detailing on it that kind of makes it not look just like a bland gas mask. And it looks pretty decent decently reflective of what's in game. So I get whatever this is, some bonus stuff. What figure is this? Yeah, it's Robin. Okay, that's what I thought. Oh, cool, buddy. I don't even know what's in here. I'm really nervous about Robin because I hate being bummed out when I spend that much on a figure. Cool, I ripped it. Oh, it's it's a pin, and then I'm guessing we got some stickers. So we got some stickers and stuff. I guess because it's shipped by Halloween, so other people should be getting the same or at least equivalent stuff. And then I'm guessing I normally don't open Mezits, but I want to know. Let's see. Please, please. Oh, worth it. It's a Halloween themed Mezit. So he has a. Let me go over to the other window real quick. He has a skull head, and then he comes with this awesome little pumpkin mask. Get on there. Okay, this is resistant to cooperating. Come on, bud. I can't see. This is hard to get on. Oh my god. This is priority, folks. Oh my god, I'm just gonna get it on good enough because it's not. It doesn't want to cooperate. And then it's really hard to do. But we get a little Halloween themed Mezit, and the mask isn't on perfectly, but he's kind of awesome. It's just funny. I love, again, accessories. That's where you win me over, and this is awesome to see. I don't think the mask will fit on a Gomez Mezit or the Grub. Excuse me, the Grub Mezit. So back of the back of the box has a pretty cool bit of artwork on it. I like that. I was never really a Robin fan. Chris O'Donnell was cool, but otherwise, I don't know. I think that a lot of people probably aren't huge Robin fans. Although I do like, oh, what's her name? The one from Dark Knight Returns. Kelly? Oh, let's see. It's already opening. Whew. I'm nervous. I really don't like being let down or bummed out. I'm disappointed. Like, I kind of like it. I'm going to open it up real quick and then, oh, well. What the hell? All right, so he has all this plastic on it. He came in a poncho. Jesus, how the hell? Well, that's already a scary way to package the figure. Is it just let's get off of there? Actually, no, you probably don't want to take it off, do you? I don't know. This is new. Ugh. He looks like Ralphie's brother from Christmas Story, just bundled in there. Oh my god. Comes with pretty cool accessories though. What? Hold the phone. He comes with he comes with an actual reflex bow. That it's he comes with, you can't put your arms down. Are you talking about Ellie? Oh god, that's tight. Can't put my arms down. Ralphie. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah, no, I know a lot of people that haven't seen it, so sorry that I immediately forgot I made the reference, and then I did say that. Not your bad, my bad. I know a lot of people that haven't seen that movie, which is kind of surprising. But yeah, I can't put my arms down. So yeah, that's exactly what he says. Um, God, like what the? This is already kind of scary. I'm gonna break it. Jesus. Oh, so the cape. Okay, so the cape is held on. There's straps that go under his arms. So let me pull up this real quick. I have too many windows open. So he has straps that go under his arms that hold the cape in place. God damn, man. Just work with me a little bit. Sorry, I'm adjusting windows so I can. The chat doesn't. Oh, wait a minute. No, there. Okay, cool. Cool. All right. So he has straps that go under his armpits that kind of hold everything on, and that's why it's so resistant to moving. Even when I pop off his head, it doesn't really want to. So yeah, that's cool. That's something I'm gonna have to play around with. This is so he has a face mask that's actually a soft rubber, which is kind of nice because like I noticed with one of the GI Joe figures, it's like a firm plastic that goes on the face, and I always get nervous about that breaking or like marking up the face. And I actually did hear people saying not or suggesting to not leave the hood up on Robin because it leaves like scuff marks on the side of his head. So, oh my god, I can't even. This is really tough, honestly. It's one of those things where you know you could do it, you might break it if you do it. So I'm just I'm gonna cheat. Screw it. I'm gonna rip his head off. Oh. I might regret this, but god damn, man. All right, so that's off finally. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. So inside we have these little arm straps which help keep the cape in place, and it really doesn't like to. God, this hood is tight. I can definitely see why people are saying that it leaves marks on his face because it's like it's hard as hell to get his head out of there. And yeah, I can't tell if it's from the hood or not, but there is like a really small scuff kind of on his cheekbone. Head sculpt's pretty good though. I like it. But now let's look at the proportion. Yeah, if he has big head syndrome like so many Hot Toys figures do, like Iron Man's heads are usually enormous. That thing looks alright. Get this off. His belt is very tight, and his whole shirt, his whole shirt thing is made of that pleather material that these companies love to use. Oh boy. His arms. So his arms have a bit of that, but then they have a bit of this like cotton type material. So that kind of it doesn't. It's more resistant to permanently stretching out. Unfortunately, his shoulders are made with that material that loves to get stretched out and ruined easily. God damn, this plastic doesn't want to come out. So yeah, it's another figure that you're probably not going to want to leave posed in extreme ways because you're going to have the fabric getting all bent out of shape, which is always a bummer, honestly. Like, part of the reason that we get these things is so that we can pose him in like fighting stances and everything. His legs thankfully have more of that, almost like a legging material, but his knee, oddly enough, has like that pleather. So the part of the leg that you're going to move the most has anti-stretching material. His leg joints move really good, so you'll be able to ruin that fabric more easily. And actually, I sold my Green Arrow figure because uh, I like I had some. I wasn't a huge fan of the earlier Mezco stuff, and that was a very early Mezco figure. Uh, but I know that Green Arrow also had terrible ankles, and these are pretty cool. So we get some good swivel going on there. Nice side-to-side motion. Definitely will help with dynamic poses. And front and back. Back is pretty restricted, but front you get a lot going on there, so that's good. His pants aren't entirely made of that pleathery type of stuff. They're actually made of a fabric, so I wouldn't be afraid to leave him in a more like in a wider stance or anything like that. And I'm actually really excited that they went with this type of material because it's not going to get damaged the same way. Like his shoulders, unfortunately, well, it's it's weird. So part of it is cotton, part of it is this pleathery type. So on the underside and here on the interior we have that cotton. Outside we have that pleather. So I don't know. Just be careful. Leaving them in poses is really what I would suggest. I mean, that we're anyone who's been collecting the line is kind of used to that. It's just a bummer that we have to constantly do that because I don't know. Most of my stuff is in the boxes, but if I want to break it out and do something cool with it, I should be able to. Um, his I already can kind of tell that his chest isn't going anywhere. It's more than I thought, though. I thought this was going to be a lot more rigid, but it's decent. He has good forward kick. His leg doesn't like to move backward much at all. Wrist is just a standard joint. There's no forearm swivel. There is bicep swivel, which I mean, at least it's something. His neck is already rotated. So his neck itself has some motion in there. He has a double ball joint inside of the top of his neck. So we get a good range of motion. You're going to want to look out for any gaps that come as you move it too extreme. Like I was talking about with Joel earlier, we have the same thing with him in the front and the back, and it's a little worse on Robin. But I don't know. I'm satisfied with the figure. The head is a little big, I won't lie. But overall, yeah, I don't really have any complaints about this. I'm pretty pleased with this figure. I was worried that he had like backwards feet or something. But he doesn't. Um, so yeah, nice. I like it. The reflex bow the compact reflex bow is a nice thing. He comes with some little batarangs. Is it batarang still? And then he comes with this thing, which I don't know what it is. I'm guessing it's a trench knife. It's for murdering. Then he comes with even smaller robin rings. And then he has three arrows that are pointy, and these ones actually have the little knock, so you can get the string in there and have them like retract the bow and fire it across into somebody's eyeball and really hurt them because this is pointy. don't launch it at anyone's eye. I'm not telling you to do that. If you do it, you're kind of hilarious, but also a jerk. He comes with a decent amount of hands, and then what is this hand for? He has one hand like this. I don't know what the intent of this hand is. I'll have to look at some of the production shots, but I don't know what that hand's for. So, with the French, let's see this on his face. Oh, that was badass. So there's him with the face mask on. It goes right up to his little eye piece. I don't know what that's actually called. Like his goggles. Goes right up to those, so that's pretty cool. We don't get any gaps there. And then we get other head sculpts. Open punk. So this is a very Damien head sculpt. It's hard to kind of see in this camera, but it's just a smirk, that like arrogant little, that cocky little shit that Damien is. And yeah, actually thinking about this being Damien, it is a bit large because Damien's not a very intended to be a very big character. Let me get Angry Damien. This is like, it's all for you, Damien. You throw yourself off a church for that. It's a dark reference. What's underneath? Oh shit. So I don't know what this thing is. There's some accessory in here. I can't tell what it is. It looks... Oh, maybe... It might be a holster for batarangs, which would be pretty cool. Because Batman doesn't have anywhere to hold them. This is really tight, though. Holy hell. You do, Mezco. It's like... Oh, God damn it. It's like melting. This happened with another figure I opened recently, where the plastic trays were like fused together. Oh, good. There we go. Fused together in revolving doors. If anyone listens to the red cord out there. Nobody listens to the red cord. This is... Oh my God, it's really tight. Yeah, that's what it was. The Boy Cadet Gomez, that plastic that the suit was in, did not want to come apart. All right, so what is this thing? I don't know what this is for. I'm really going to have to look at this up. I can't tell if this is intended to go on his wrist or what it is. It's not a sheath. Does he have a sheath? I don't know what this is for. Oh shit! I found it. It's very thin, and I noticed it until I saw the ends. But it's for this grappling hook. Oh, that's really okay. Yeah, so he has actually a really cool grappling hook, which is very thin wire. And I'm already nervous about bending it, but that's really cool. And then this is just like it goes on his wrist. Very cool. Very cool. Very neat. Very cool accessory. Sorry, it's the letter coming. And then he has a, I guess it's katana. I was going to call it a samurai sword, but I guess it's katana. And he has the bow staff, which doesn't feel like it comes apart, so it's just one object. Yeah, I'm really glad I got this figure. He's cool. I like him. Pleased. The hood is going to be its own piece to figure out because this thing's it's very tight on his head. And honestly, if you're going to have the hood on him, you're going to want to take it off and then put on his torso with the hood back and then put the head on to keep it in place because it's ugly. You just can't get it. You just can't get it off, honestly. I don't know how I want to do this, but I'll just put it to the side for now. I'm not going to open Slugfest tonight. I wasn't planning on doing live product reviews, but it happened anyway. And I'm glad. I'm really bad at opening things. Honestly, part of the reason I wanted to do reviews in the first place was so that I would open products. Because I just have all these things sitting around in boxes that just sit. And it's nice to actually open the things that I buy. So yeah, I'm really hoping that my next camera doesn't suck butts and lets me do some actual more formal uh with intent product reviews. And yeah, thanks. Thanks you for participating, honestly. This is why we do them live. We want to be able to engage with the community, get feedback. Like if you had any questions about Robin or The Last of Us, now's a great time to ask. Uh I'm here with the figures. If you were on the fence about getting them and you have the means, now's the time to ask a question about it. I can try and show you through the camera. It's not a great camera. I might end up upgrading that to what Pete has. But yeah, no, the whole intent of this is to engage with the community, get different ideas for products you want to see. If we're talking about different things, give us your feedback on it. So no, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate you partaking in the chat. Um, Unfortunately, Pete had an engagement tonight. Normally he'll be here. I actually most likely won't be here next week. So Pete's going to be flying solo next week. I'm going to a hardcore show. I'm going to throw names out. I'm going to go see Granite State and Johnny Booth next weekend. And I'm really excited about that. Johnny Booth is a New York hardcore band. Granite State is a Baltimore hardcore band. They're still relatively small. They're both independent. So if you like metal or hardcore, definitely check them out. And for Shadow Moses, this is Matt. I'm gonna sign off and enjoy the rest of your nights, guys.